Good day, everyone. I am Ira Grace Santalar, and together with my groupmates Angela Semeniano, Rochelle Taduran, Janice Tangilon, and Erica Salas, we will be your presenters for today. Our topic is Module 10, Ecoliteracy. Before we begin, let me ask you a question. Have you ever experienced a typhoon, flooding, or even a sudden change in weather that made you stop and think, what is happening to our world? We believe in a time when natural disasters are becoming more frequent and intense. Sadly, many of these are connected to how we treat the environment, how we use our resources, how we dispose of our waste, and how we build our communities. That's why today, we will explore a very important topic that connects all of us, not just as students, but as future leaders, professionals, and citizens of this earth. This is called ecoliteracy, or simply being aware of the environment and understanding how nature works and how our actions affect it. Ecoliteracy is not just about science, it's about life. It's about how we think, how we live, and how we care of our world, today and for the next generations. Our goal today is to help you understand this concept, reflect on your own experiences, and inspire you to take action, even in small ways, to protect the only planet we have. So let's get started and see how learning about ecoliteracy can help us build a more sustainable and better future, starting with ourselves and our schools. Before we dive to the main discussion, let's now come first to learning objectives. What you should learn in this module. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to first, explain what ecoliteracy means and how it helps protect our environment. Second, discuss the 7 principles of nature. We'll talk about this more later. Third, describe what makes a school a green school. Then fourth, show how ecoliteracy can be included in what we teach and learn at school. Share life lessons from your own experience with environmental activities. And analyze a short research study about ecoliteracy and how it affects teaching. And create a community action plan to help protect and care for our environment. So, in many parts of the world, including our own country, people suffer from natural disasters like typhoons, earthquakes, and floods. Because of this, the government and schools have created programs to prepare people for these disasters and to manage the risks. But here's the thing, disaster preparedness is not enough. We also need to understand why these disasters happen more often and what we can do to help the environment. That's where ecoliteracy comes in. We need to be aware of what's happening to our environment and we need to take action. This means teaching and learning about how to take care of nature and live in a way that doesn't harm the planet. And yes, this should be part of our school curriculum, something we learn not just in science but in everyday life. Let's now come to ecoliteracy and sustainable development. Now let's understand the big ideas behind ecoliteracy. So what is ecoliteracy? This means being aware of how nature works and how human life depends on the environment. It's about understanding that all living things, plants, animals, and people are connected. It's also about realizing that what we do, like cutting trees, throwing garbage, or polluting the air, has consequences. So According to David Orr, an environmental educator, said that if we don't include ecology, the study of the environment, in our education, we are teaching students that it doesn't matter. That's dangerous, right? So we must change the way we teach and learn by including ecological awareness. So why is ecoliteracy important? So ecoliteracy helps us first understand how nature is organized, how everything in nature has a role and is connected. Second, learn how to design a way of living that doesn't harm the planet. This is called sustainability. Third, apply this knowledge in real life. How we build homes, use energy, grow food, and treat animals and plants. What is sustainability? It means being able to live on this planet without destroying it, so that the future generations can also live a good life. It's about balance, using what we need without taking too much. So there are two ways we can look at sustainability. First is qualitatively, how we feel, like our well-being and happiness. Second, quantitatively, things we can measure, like how much water or forest we still have. We can use tools like the ecological footprint to check this. To become sustainable, we need to rethink our habits, our culture, and how we run our industries and schools. So many of the problems we face today is like pollution, climate change, loss of animals and plants, and it happens because of ecological illiteracy or not understanding the environment. Who is an ecologically literate person? First is a person who is ecoliterate, knows how ecosystems work, knows that everything is connected, makes choices that help, not harm, the nature, acts in a way that help ensure the earth stays healthy, not just for now, but for the next generations too. What is an ecologically literate society? A society that is ecoliterate is one where people care for nature. The economy and schools support environmental protection. Policies and everyday decisions are made with nature in mind. That's why ecoliteracy is seen as a new and important part of education. It involves systems thinking, meaning we look at the big picture and how all parts of life are connected. Many schools around the world are now including ecoliteracy in their programs so that students grow up aware and responsible. To sum up everything, ecoliteracy is about being aware of and caring for the environment. It is important to teach this in schools. It's also important that a green school in an eco-literate society will help create a better, safer, and more sustainable future. And you, as students, are a big part of this change.
Good day everyone, I am Rochelle Hernandez Duran and I will going to discuss about the 7 environmental principles of nature. First is we have nature knows best. So people need to understand nature and have to abide by the rules it imposes. In essence, one must not go against the natural processes if he or she would like to ensure a continuous and steady supply of resources. So, we all know naman po na nakaka-benefit sa atin yung nature, no? There's a lot of resources na galing sa nature. So, we humans should know all the rules that dapat nating sundin about sa nature. Kasi kung nais natin na maging masustain yung resources na yon na binibigay sa atin ng nature, we have to follow the rules and take care of our nature. Second is, all forms of life are important. Each organism plays a fundamental role in nature. Therefore, all living things must be considered as invaluable instruments maintaining balance in the ecosystem. So, even the smallest organism na akala natin is wala lang is nagko-contribute po siya sa ating nature. So, one of the example of this is bacteria. These are the most abundant organisms on Earth and play a vital role in decomposition, nutrient cycling, and even producing oxygen. They break down dead organisms and waste, releasing nutrients back into the environment. So, photosynthetic bacteria like cyanobacteria also contribute to oxygen production. So, we should keep into our mind that every organism matters po. It is important for our nature. Third is, everything is connected to everything else. In an ecosystem, all components interact with each other to ensure that the system is sustainable, of which any outside interference may result in an imbalance and deterioration of the system. So, we should know that everything in our ecosystem is interconnected. So, kung ano man yung ginawa mo sa isang bagay, is may effect din yun sa ibang bagay na connected sa ating ecosystem. So, dapat is maging responsible tayo of our action. So, fourth is everything changes. People must rethink their relationship with the environment through relevant technologies for positive changes. So, we all know naman po na changes are constant, no? Hindi natin siya kayang talikuran, hindi natin siya kayang takbuhan, at hindi natin siya kayang pigilan. We humans should adopt those changes, especially nowadays na very in demand na sa atin ang technology, where technology is bahagi na ng ating buhay, and technology can give some informations about our environment na makakasustain sa kung ano yung kailangan ng environment natin and sa kung ano yung kailangan nating mga tao. So, fifth is everything must go somewhere. Since waste may go back to one's own backyard in some other forms, it is important to become aware of the different types of waste, classify and segregate those that are toxic and potential hazardous. So, we should be responsible of segregating our waste. Kasi po, there are some cases na hindi na tatapon sa tamang basurahan yung waste. Kasi po, there are a lot of illness na pwede nating makuha sa waste. Kaya dapat hinihiwalay natin yung nabubulok, hindi nabubulok, at kayang ma-recycle na mga bagay. So, one of those example na bibigay ko is that yung nabasa ko sa TikTok, wherein yung bata is nakakuha siya ng syringe and pinaglalaroan na nila yon. In that example po, hindi na segregate ng maayos yung mga hazardous things na pwedeng cause ng illness sa ibang tao. Kasi po, yung syringe na yun may pwedeng tinurok sa mga taong may sakit, and then yung mga bata is napapaglaruan nila. And in that case po, pwede magkasakit yung bata. So, it is important to segregate our things, especially yung mga hazardous and toxic things. Kasi po, pwede yung maka-effect sa ibang tao, and especially pwede rin maka-effect sa atin. Sixth is R is finite Earth. Awareness of the Earth's limited resources leads to a conscious effort to change one's attitude and initiative to recycle them. So, we all know naman po na hindi unlimited yung resources na galing sa Earth, no? Kaya we should be resourceful sa mga bagay-bagay, and we should know how to recycle things na pwede pa nating magamit sa mga pang-araw-araw nating gawain. Last is, nature is beautiful and we are stewards of God's creations. So, being the most intelligent and being gifted with reasons, humans are capable of controlling and taking care of the creation to their own advantage. So, we all know naman po na we are just stewards of God. we should keep into our mind that we should be responsible of our earth. No, kasi hiram lang natin to, hindi ito sa atin, hindi natin ito pagmamayari. So, dapat pangalagaan natin, no? For example, di ba, pag tayo naghihiram ng isang bagay, takot tayo na masira natin yon because alam natin na magagalit yung may-ari and pwedeng hindi na tayo pahiramin ulit. As simple as that, we should be responsible also of our nature. Also, binigyan tayo ng kakayahang makapag-isip and we should use it. No, sabi nga niyan is, we are human, so act like one. So, Green School, the concept and the background. So, the concept of Green School emerged in Europe during 1990s. So, as a response out to increasing environmental challenges and the need for sustainable development. So, the idea gained global recognition following the Rio Earth Summit in 1992, which highlighted the urgent need for action in all areas impacted by human activities on environment. So, due to the misuse of resources coming from our environment, this project was made po. No, so a significant development came the World Summit on Sustainable Development WRWSSD held in Johannesburg in 2002, which marked a shift from educating about the environment to educating for sustainability. So, there's a big shift po no, from pag-aaral about sa environment up until pag-aaral kung paano ma-sustain yung environment. So, this shift reflected a global movement toward sustainable development, meeting present needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet theirs. So, the growing misuse and depletion of natural resources emphasize the need for deeper awareness and action on environmental issues. So, due to the misuse and depletion of natural resources, um, naisipang gamitin ang education para magbigay ng information or awareness sa mga tao about sa sustainable development of our environment. So, in response, the United Nations launched the Decade of Education for Sustainability Development in 2005, or DESD. So, the goal of DESD is to foster a deeper understanding of sustainability through reoriented teaching methods and learning environments. So, this is include promoting behavioral changes necessary for environmental integrity, economic viability, and social justice for both current and future generations. So, in conclusion po, the Green School was envisioned as transformative educational setting, one that emphasizes environmental sustainability, active participation of the school community, and a lifelong commitment to protecting the planet. It provides a space where students, teachers, and the community collaborate continuously to improve the school environment and promote a sustainable way of life. That's all po for my report. Again, I am Rochelle Hernandez Sadoran. Thank you for listening and have a good day.
Hello everyone, I am Jenny Stangilan and today I will be going to tackle the essential aspect of green school environment. So, we have here a clean, healthy, protected, and green surroundings. So, this is one of the aspects no, that a green school environment. So, the central to the green school are the elements and practices that promotes environmental sustainability and sensitivity through values. So this means includes we are going to advocate for judicious resources, utilization, maintaining a clean and green surrounding, and fostering a physical, mental, and emotional well-being of the students. So a green school ensure a safe and healthy learning environment free from hazard and conducive to learning. So the green school promotes or like giving us opportunity to engage to one another that can be very beneficial for our environment. So we have here the plain child law that's like the participatory doing. So it is so it teach us or it teach the children must think critically to what is the main help or what will be the help that we can offer for the environment to lessen the pollution. So to have a green school or safe environment for learning. So, the key aspect green school environment include yun nga, yung ating cleanliness, health promotion, safety measure, and integration with nature. So in this, by immersing the students, yung participatory and collaborative learning experiences, Green School empowered the school community to work together towards a sustainable future. So now let's talk about the three main precept of guiding principles of a green school. So these are the ways students learn in a green school environment. So each one helps students understand, experience, and care for the environment. So the first one is learning about the environment. So this means students gain knowledge and information about the environment. So they learn about natural system like water, air, plants, and animals. They study on environmental problems such as pollution, climate change, deforestation, and global warming. They can also learn how human action affect nature. Example, in science class, you might learn about how plastic waste affects marine life or how trees help absorb carbon dioxide. So the goal is to make students aware of the issues and give them the knowledge to understand what's happening to the planet. Number two is learning through the environment. So this is about learning by experience. So students are actively engaged in their surroundings, both inside and outside of the classroom. So learning happens not just through books but through hands-on activities in the real world. So this could be through nature walks, planting trees, doing experiments, or even cleaning up the school grounds. So example here is instead of just reading about ecosystem, student go outside to observe plants and to observe plants and insect in the garden. So the goal is to make learning more meaningful and memorable by connecting it to real life experience. So the number three is learning for the environment. So this is the most important step. It's not just about knowing, it's about taking action. So students are encouraged to apply what they know and feel a sense of responsibility. They become environmental stewards, people who take care of the planet. So it teaches them to act for positive change, even in a small ways. So the example of this is students start a campaign to reduce plastic in school, or they help create a compost pit for biodegradable waste. So the goal is to help students become responsible citizens who are ready to protect the environment and influence others to do the same. So now, let's proceed to the understanding of a green curriculum. So number one is environment is encompassing multidisciplinary and dynamic. So this means that the environment is not just limited to the natural world, but it also includes yung social, economic, political, and technological dimension. So for example, in our economics, we are going to analyze the cost-benefit analysis of sustainable development projects. Yun na yung technology. We're going to investigate how yung advancement in technology can help us mitigate environmental issues such as pollution or resources depletion. So it really helps, no? It is so helpful. Next, number two, holistic view of the environment. So a green curriculum recognizes the connectionable aspect of the environment and it shows us or it aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of how the world operates, of how human action impact it and the consequences of those action that we are going to do. So in the future or yung mga issues na natatanggap natin, mga problems na nag-gain natin after natin gumawa ng something to our new and to our environment. For example, I'm studying the water cycle in science class and discussing how human activities like deforestation can disrupt it, leading to issues like yung drought or yung floods. So number three is in this address sustainability concerns. So in this aspect involves considering various sustainability concerns as conservation of our natural resources, yung cultural heritage, preservation, equity, and justice, and the connection between different aspects of the environment. For example, learning about traditional farming practices in history classes and discussing their role in preserving our biodiversity and cultural heritage. Next, number is four, teaching learning approach. So, a green curriculum. So it says that green curriculum encourage inquiry-based approach where all of the students are given in the time and space, so as they can explore a different kinds or different images like that or a different environment and make connection between them. For example, engaging in project-based learning activities where students research environment issues and propose solutions to them to adapt a problem. Next is number five. It says that mutual sharing of teachers and students. So in a green curriculum, environmental education is not just the responsibility of our teachers, but a shared concern of the students who are encouraged to actively participate in learning and taking action to address the environmental changes or challenges that we are facing. So for example, encouraging student-led discussion and debates on environmental topics during class. So we can have a lot of examples that can incorporate for us to or for the student to learn about the helpfulness and significance of the green school. So by incorporating this aspect into the curriculum for educator can help or build or help to have a deeper understanding of the environmental issues and empower the students to become a responsible students and human being of the environment. Next, let's move on to creating a green school. So, a green school is a school that creates a healthy environment conducive to learning, while saving energy, environmental resources, and money. So, in here, I already explained what is a green school. So, now let's proceed to how to create a green school. So, first, um, our green school work hard to reduce its negative effects on the environment, and at the same time, it finds smart way to save money. It includes using energy and water wisely, minimizing waste, and promoting eco-friendly practices. So for example, this school might install LED lights or use solar panels to save electricity. And they might have water-saving faucet or rainwater collection system to conserve water. So by doing these things, the school lower its carbon footprints, helps fight climate change, and also reduce operating costs, which means more budget can go toward learning materials and students' needs. Second is improving occupants' health and performance. So the second goal is all about creating a safe and healthy space for students, teachers, and staff. So a green school promotes both physical and mental well-being, so which leads to better academic performance and emotional development. So this means that the classroom are well ventilated and free from air pollutants. So the school provides access to clean drinking water and nutrients and nutritious food in the canteen. And also the school practices cleanliness and hygiene for example. Students are taught how to wash hands properly and restrooms are kept clean and well stocked. So when students are healthy, they can focus better, behave better, and enjoy learning more. So green school help boost not only health but also overall school performance. The third one is increase environmental and sustainability literacy. So a green school helps students become more aware and more responsibly when it comes to taking care of the planet. So this is what we call environmental literacy or simply understanding the environment and how to protect it. So it goes beyond just memorizing facts. It's about developing real life awareness, responsibility, and action. So for example, students learn how recycling matters, how to conserve energy, and how their choices affect the environment. So they participate in activities like tree planting, clean up drives, and school gardening. So teachers also include topics on climate change, pollution, biodiversity, and sustainability living in their lessons. Now, let's come to the characteristic of a green school. So the number one is it protects health. So a green school is built with the health of everyone in mind. It uses natural daylight, better ventilation, and non-toxic materials like eco-friendly paints and furniture. So these features help reduce allergies, asthma, and illnesses, creating a safer and healthier space for learning. Ano po? So example, a classroom with large windows bring in natural light, which help reduce eye strain and boost student mood. So number two is it increase student performance. So students in green classrooms tend to perform better academically. Research shows that test score can increase by up to 20% when students learn in clean. So well let and properly ventilated environments. For example, a comfortable classroom encourages better focus, higher attendance, and improved participation. The third one is it save energy and time. So green school are energy efficient. So they use smart technologies like LED lights, solar panels, and low flow toilets to reduce electricity and water bills. So the savings up to 40% is operating cost can then be used to fund more educational program or school supplies. And number four is it reduces carbon emissions. So by using clean energy and efficient system, green school cut down carbon emission, which help fight climate change. So they avoid using materials or practices that contribute to pollution. Example, using just like what I've said, using solar power instead of fossil fuels helps reduce a school environmental footprints. Number five is it reduces water usage. So green schools also save water. On average, they reduce water usage by 32% by installing low-flow faucets, rainwater collection system, and other water-saving tools. Example, water-efficient bathrooms reduce waste and lower utility bills. Next is it improves teacher retentions. So teachers are more likely to stay in a school that is healthy, well-maintained, and supportive. So green school reduce teachers turnover by around 5%, which leads to better student learning and less stress for the school administration. Number seven is it improves daily attendance. So because the environment is safer and healthier, there are fewer absences. Students in green school are 5% less likely to miss class, which means they get more consistent learning and better academic outcomes. Number eight is it provides a unique educational opportunity. So green school can actually become teaching schools. The buildings, gardens, and technology used in green school can be part of the lesson, helping students understand science, math, and environmental studies in real-life context. Example, students can use the school garden for biology lesson or monitor energy use from solar panels in science class. And the number nine is it creates green jobs. So investing in green school also support green careers. So job in eco-friendly construction, renewable energy, sustainable architecture, and green materials manufacturing are all boosted by the demand for green buildings. Example, building a green school requires engineers, electricians, and designers who specialize in sustainable systems. And lastly, the number 10 is it improves equity. So finally, green school helps create equal opportunities. So by making public schools healthier and more sustainable, all students, regardless of background, can learn in an environmental that supports their success, well-being, and dignity. For example, a well-ventilated, like what I've said, a well-ventilated well-lit classroom with safe drinking water should be a basic right for all students, not just for those in wheelchair easier. So that would be all for my part. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I'm Angela Estimiliano and today I will be discussing about Dark Green School Program, Philippine Environment Perspective. A Dark Green School, or DGS, is a school that delivers environmental education through assimilations of the environmental philosophy with the student in formal lesson as well as in activities outside the classroom. So, meaning to say, yung Dark Green School is nag-integrate siya ng environmental education into both classroom lessons and extracurricular activities. It aims to help students internalize and practice environmental values in all aspects of their school life. Accordingly, school must be A. Be clean and neat, evidence of good management and housekeeping. So, school should maintain cleanliness and orderliness in all areas to reflect responsible leadership and care for the environment. For example, yung classroom, kinakailangan na palagi yung malinis and maintain yung kaayusan nun. And yung sa restroom naman, kailangan na regularly clean, and yung vandalism and littering is strictly prohibited din yun. Kasi dito is in-encourage yung student to take part in maintaining a tidy learning environment. For letter B, call for green spaces, appropriate land use, planning, conservation of materials and energy, proper waste management, segregation, use of appropriate materials and avoidance of harmful ones, and respect to other right to a smoke-free air. So, school must design spaces that promote environmental health, like yung sa garden, yung recycling stations, and yung energy-saving facilities. For instance, a school may plant trees and set up a composting area to process organic waste, and it should also enforce a no-smoking policy para ma-ensure yung clean air for everyone on campus. And for letter C, have management policies and guidelines that would create a healthful and ecological campus. So, yung school should establish rules na nagsusupport sa healthy and eco-friendly environment. Include dito yung mga policies na kagaya ng energy conservation and yung water-saving measures, and also yung mga plastic-free campaign. And for letter D, have a well-planned environmental curriculum for all levels, adequately oriented and trained faculty, and administrative, library, and financial support. So, an effective environmental curriculum should be integrated from elementary to senior high school level para which is supported by trained teacher and available resources. Halimbawa, yung sa science classes may include topics on climate change and sustainable practices backed by books in the library and teaching aids. So, the administration should also allocate sa funds for environmental project. And so for letter E, have faculty and student who are aware and appreciate the environmental program of the school. So, lahat ng nasa school, kailangan na maintindihan nila and mag-support sila sa school environmental goals. For instance, yung both teachers and yung student, dapat kailangan na actively participate sila sa halimbawa yung sa Earth Day celebrations and yung mga tree planting drives. So, yung involvement na yun is nag-show siya na that they can or they value and embody the school green initiative. For letter F, reach out to an outside community to spread concern for Mother Earth and facilitate project and program that improve the environment. So, school should engage in outreach program that raise environmental awareness beyond campus, just like dun sa CWTS ng NSTP, which is nagkakaroon sila ng outreach program which is partnering with local communities sa clean up nearby or use sa pag-organize ng mga educational seminars sa waste segregation. So, this strengthened community ties and extend to the impact of environmental education. For letter G, engage in research that add knowledge in the ways of natures and the impact of human activities. So, yung school encourage to conduct studies on environmental issues and share findings that can lead to solution. For example, yung student might research how plastic waste affect marine life and present their work during a science fair. So, such activities is nagpo-promote siya ng critical thinking and yung real-world problem solving. So, let's come now po sa ecological living practices. First one is sustainable ecological living principles, which involve understanding basic life facts such as matter cycling, energy flow from the sun, diversity, waste is food, and networking for life success. So, dito, yung nature recycle matters like, halimbawa ngayon yung mga dead leaves, nade-decompose siya and become soil nutrient. And yung energy naman, galing sa sun, it powers plant growth, which feed animals and human. So dito, in nature, waste become food, like how animal dung enriches soil, and all life is connected in network that support survival. Second one is sustainable development encompasses environmental, economic, and social dimension, addressing the impact of human activities on the environment. So dito, sa sustainable development means growing in way that protect natures and sa economy and also sa tao. Halimbawa nga yung sa paggamit ng mga solar energy, which is nakakatulong siya na ma-reduce yung pollution while creating job. And this kind of approach po is tumutulong siya na ma-reduce reduce the damage caused by the things like halimbawa nga deforestations or industrial waste. Third one is ecological living enhances understanding of interconnection and interdependence, empowering individual to take concrete actions for a better world. Yung ecological living, nagtuturo siya that our choices is affect the environment and others. So, understanding these connections make people more motivated to live responsibly, and it empowers actions like recycling planting trees, or using public transport. So, fourth one is ecological living involves respecting the planet capacity, acknowledging interconnectedness, improving our relationship, and utilizing human capacities for a sustainable and caring world. So dito, sinasabi na dito na yung Earth is may limit. Like, halimbawa nga, like how overfishing harm ocean life, so we must live within them. Lahat is connected, such as yung deforestations, maaari siyang mag-lead sa climate change. So by respecting natures and each other na din, we build stronger and more caring communities. So we can also use our creativity and intelligence para maghanap ng solutions like yung green technology and eco-friendly design. So sa fifth one is yung practical suggestion for sustainability through ecological living. It includes integrating interpersonal development with our with outer actions for ecological living. So, meaning to say, being mindful and self-aware is makakatulong to make better choices for the planet. Halimbawa, yung someone na nag-value ng compassions may choose to support fair trade product. And yung inner growth, like patience and responsibility, is nag-lead din siya to consistent eco-friendly habit. So yung mga personal development and actions like composting or using less water support, sustainability is nakakatulong siya na magkaroon ng better planet. So let's proceed to Inner Ecology by Smithman 2014. First one, become a catalyst of change to help co-create a better world and future. So this means being someone na mag-i-inspire and mag-lead ng positive change sa society. Halimbawa, starting a school recycling program na mag-i-encourage sa iba na mangalaga din sa environment. Kasi even yung mga small changes na ito, like reducing plastic use, can influence family and community habit. So by leading through action, we help shape a more sustainable and hopeful future. Second one, care for and relate with non-human beings while spending time with nature. So, example is yung hiking na lang. Hiking in a forest or observing birds make us feel more connected to life beyond humans. And yung planting trees show care for other living beings. So this kind of action po teach empathy, patience, and respect for all form of life. Third one is make the most of sustainability crisis that force us to learn, dream, think, design, act, and relate in new ways. Yung crisis like climate change push us to innovate and adapt. For instance, water shortage have led cities to create rainwater harvesting system. And this kind of challenge can help us think creatively, such as designing eco-homes or community garden. Next is join the rest around the world in becoming agent of sustainability. So you can join by participating in clean-up tribes or yung community solar project. And also yung pag-share natin online about niya reducing waste also connect you with global effort. And together this small action is nag-create siya ng big impact for the planet. Fifth one is nurture nature by taking care of our body and become aware of our natural body rhythm. So, our health is connected to the environment, and like eating fresh or organic food support both. So, and also a morning walk in nature not only help your body but also deepen appreciation for the earth. And when we care for ourselves, we're more capable of caring for the planet. And also yung paying attention to sleep or rest and movement, align din siya with nature cycle. Number 6 is become more energy efficient and learn to recycle our own energy. Kasi nga, di ba, even na gusto natin na ipagpatuloy pa yung mga bagay na gusto natin gawin, kapag yung resistensya din naman natin is yun na yung bumigay, hindi talaga natin yung napipigilan. So, we need to save our energy by managing our physical and mental energy. For example, instead of staying up late on screen, resting help restore energy. So, and also by using meditation, makakatulong din yun para i-reset when we are feeling stressed. And makakatulong din ito na ma-reduce yung burnout and it make us more effective in our daily action. Number 7, learn to compost our own waste and not dump this onto others. Yung emotional or yung mental waste, kagaya ng galit or yung stress, should be processed, not projected onto others. For example, yung pakikipag-usap mo sa mga kaibigan mo or someone na para sa'yo mapagkakatiwalaan, na pagsabihan kung may mga problema man, is makakatulong siya for you to work through feelings responsibly. Just like food scrap turn into compost, our pain can become wisdom if handled well. So this kind of support, it support healthier relationship and a more peaceful environment. Last one is become aware of rights, need, and well-being of future generation and explore how we can support this in our action. So, yung future generation, yung mga susunod na henerasyon pa, deserve nila na magkaroon ng clean air, yung water, and yung healthy planet. So yung pagtuturo natin sa mga bata na mahalin, protektahan yung nature is mag-ensure siya ng mindset na continuously dapat ma-maintain yun. And kasi yung every choice na ginagawa natin today, it shape the world our children na mag-i-inherit. So let's come now din naman po sa outer ecology. First one, educate ourselves about the resource that we, family, and our organization utilize to fulfill and sustain our needs. So, understand what materials, water, and energy you consume daily. For example, yung pag-track mo ng electricity usage and pag-check mo din ng kung magkano yung nakukonsume mo na tubig within a week. And this awareness is makakatulong sa atin na ma-reduce yung mga unnecessary waste and encourage a mindful consumption. So, yung sa families and workplace, pwede silang mag-start ng sustainability at audit para makahanap ng better practices. And second one is reduce, reuse, repurpose, and recycle. So, bawasan na lang natin yung pagbili ng mga bagay na hindi naman natin kailangan and i-reuse yung what we already have. For instance, i-repurpose din yung mga glass jar for storage instead yung pagbili pa natin ng mga plastic containers. And i-donate din yung mga clothes or furniture instead of throwing them away. Kasi makakatulong din yun sa iba. So, recycle paper, plastic, and metals properly to avoid adding to landfill. Third one is be aware of the real price of goods and services that we use. Cheap products often have hidden costs. Example, the cost of child labor, animal cruelty, or degradations of ecosystem. So, yung mga low prices sometimes means someone or nature pay the price instead. So, halimbawa, yung fast fashion often nag-i-involve siya ng sweatshop labor sa environmental pollution. So, buying fewer, better quality item reduce harm. And yung researching product origin is makakatulong din siya for more ethical choices. Number 4, find out any child labor practices or natural resources that were sacrificed in the process of producing product and services. So, kailangan natin tingnan yung mga label kagaya ng fair trade or no child labor kapag nag-shopping tayo. Halimbawa, yung chocolate brands na nalilink sa child labor while other ensure ethical sourcing. Yung paggamit din ng apps and website, nag-o-offer ng mga informations about community practices. And so being informed, it let us support businesses that treat workers and nature fairly. So number 5, recycled gray water. Yung gray water is used water po galing sink or shower and sa mga washing machine. Hindi yung galing sa toilet. So, you can also install system para i-reuse it for watering gardens. And for example, yung mga household may use bathroom sink water for flushing toilet. So, this kind of is makakatulong siya na i-reduce yung water waste and lower utility bill. Number 6, collect and use rainwater. So, rainwater can be collected in barrels and used for gardening or cleaning. So, malaking tulong din po ito, kasi makakabawas din nga siya sa utility bill. Number 7, create an organic vegetable garden. So, growing your own food reduce transport emissions and ensure chemical-free produce. So, kapag meron kang garden sa sarili mong bakod or even yung mga kahit maliit lang, just like kung magtatanim ka ng mga gulay, just like may talong, may tanong ka ng kamatis, and etc. is makakatulong din yun. And dito, masisiguro mo din na hindi siya organic talaga siya. Hindi siya yung mga may chemical na nahalo na. So, this kind of small even small balcony gardens is makakatulong siya to make a difference. Kasi yung gardening, nagsistrengthen siya sa connection mo din sa nature. Number 8, compost organic waste and use the compost in the garden. So, yung kitchen waste like yung mga balat niya ng prutas and coffee grounds can become compost. Yung composting is nakaka-reduce siya ng landfill waste and nag-enriches soil. And number 9, create a garden with a balance of endemic indigenous plant to support local wildfire like animal, insect, trees, and plants. So, yung mga native plant attract local bees, butterflies, and birds. So, this plant is adapted to the climate and need less water and care. For example, yung pag-plant natin, makakatulong siya na endangered monarch butterflies. So, this support sa biodiversity is makaka-maintain ng ecological balance. Number 10, create a roof garden or green roof as a natural air conditioning alternative to increase garden space. Yung roof garden is nag-absorb siya ng heat and cool building naturally. So, they reduce na din ng energy bills and it add green space in cities. So, for instance, yung mga urban homes or apartment with green roofs is nag-enjoy sila with cooler indoor temperatures and it help din na ma-reduce yung storm water runoff and filter air. Number 12 is buy organic and local product as much as possible. So, yung mga organic product na ito is avoid harmful chemical and local items, reduce transportation emissions. So, halimbawa yung buying eggs from a local farm ensure sa better animal welfare. So, this promote po both human and environmental health. Last one is support local businesses and organizations that care for our planet. So, dito, shop or store that use eco-friendly packaging or support green initiatives. Hindi sila gumagamit ng mga plastic, kung saan gumagamit ng mga eco-friendly packaging. Halimbawa, yung you choose a cafe that composes or sources local ingredient. Yung mga just like mga barako, or your money support values and behaviors you want to see more of, and it encouraging ethical businesses help shift society toward sustainability. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, today we're going to explore how we can bring ecological literacy into our classrooms. But first, what is ecological literacy? It simply means helping students understand how nature works and how we as humans fit into and affect those systems. To make this happen, we can use 5 teaching strategies. First is place-based learning. Second, project-based learning. Third, Socratic inquiry. Fourth, experiential learning. And lastly, interdisciplinary learning. Each of these strategies gives students meaningful experiences, connects them to real-world issues, and builds values for a more sustainable future. Place-based learning brings education closer to home by using the local environment as the classroom. Instead of keeping lessons confined to textbooks, students engage with the real world around them. So for example, if a school is near a river, a student might test water quality, investigate sources of pollution, and work with local authorities to raise awareness. This type of learning allows students to apply their knowledge to real-life problems. Making education more meaningful, it also encourages them to see their community as part of a larger ecosystem and understand how human actions affect environmental health. By involving local citizens, organizations, and governments, students learn the importance of teamwork and civic engagement. It transforms education into a tool for shaping the future of their community. Next, we have project-based learning, where students work on long-term projects that often involve real-world challenges. In project-based learning, students work on long-term projects that address real challenges, often using tools like technology, community resources, and expert interviews. The teacher takes on the role of a facilitator rather than a lecturer. For example, a student who notices food waste in their cafeteria might start a project where they measure the waste, interview staff, research composting, and develop a solution like a school compost bin. Through this process, they develop problem solving, critical thinking, collaboration, and research skills. Project-based learning not only improves academic outcomes but also instills a sense of purpose and agency. Projects like designing green schoolyards, starting recycling programs, or restoring habitats can even lead to meaningful changes in school and community practices. Socratic inquiry is inspired by the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates, who believed that deep learning happens through questioning rather than simply being told the answer. In this method, teachers pose open-ended questions that challenge students to think critically about assumptions, values, and preconceptions. For instance, a teacher might ask, "Is it ethical to cut down forest for economic development?" This leads to discussion where students examine environmental, social, and economic viewpoints. Socratic inquiry helps students clarify their beliefs, improve their listening and speaking skills, and become more open to diverse opinions. It turns the classroom into a safe space for thoughtful dialogue where students learn how to think, not just what to think. Experiential learning emphasizes learning by doing. It promotes real-world involvement, which is especially important for sustainability education. Instead of just reading about ecosystems, students might visit a forest, hike through it, observe wildlife, take notes, and ask questions based on what they see and feel. This direct contact with nature deepens their understanding of ecological principles. They also work with others to solve real problems, skills that lie at the heart of sustainable living. So for example, when students help create a school garden, they learn about soil, plant life, teamwork, and patience. Experiential learning often begins with unstructured exploration, followed by structured lessons, where students form concepts and apply them. This method not only teaches science, but builds empathy, responsibility, and care for the environment. Interdisciplinary learning connects different subjects around a common theme, allowing students to gain a broader and deeper understanding instead of learning science, math, or history in isolation. Students explore topics like climate change through multiple lenses. So for example, they might use math to calculate carbon emissions, science to understand the greenhouse effect, and social studies to explore policy impacts, and language arts to write persuasive letters about climate action. This approach helps students connect the dots between what they learn in class and the real world. It also increases motivation and engagement because learning feels more relevant. Teachers can be better differentiate instruction and use a variety of rich assessment methods. When done well, interdisciplinary learning helps students develop critical thinking, appreciate the value of their learning, and apply their skills in community settings. Ultimately, it supports the goals of sustainable living by showing how different systems, natural, social, economic, are interconnected. Interdisciplinary learning really shines when it comes to keeping students energized and teachers flexible. By weaving subjects together, we can tailor lessons to different learning styles and use richer, more creative assessment. Imagine a climate change unit where science report, a short documentary, and a math-based data visualization all count toward the grade. That variety makes class more interesting and boosts motivation. Students see why their work matters and stay actively engaged instead of just checking boxes for isolated skills. They begin to value their learning because they can apply a whole toolkit, writing, calculating, designing, reflecting to real issues that affect their classmates, families, and community. The more they practice combining perspectives, the more ownership they take, and the more naturally they adopt the habits of sustainable living that interdisciplinary teaching is designed to nurture.